netball called a chest pass, right? And I used to get them in the face.
I just wanted to know that she respects the game of netball.
What even is netball?
Harrison, you are a freak! This is the sport evolving at its very best. Unbelievable. Can you believe it? It's all over! New Zealand have won the World Cup!
Nau mai e kite hōtaka o te nete koro Kiwi. Welcome to the Kiwi Netball Show. Today we're talking to members of the New Zealand men's netball team. Kruze Tangira, named captain of the side for the Cadbury Series later this month. Tania Anderson, co-coach of the side. And Junior Levi from quarantine. Morena.
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 So Junior, how is quarantine life? How many days has it been now?
It's now day 5, isn't it? Yeah, day 5. So I'm just looking over to Cam, who's in my room with me here. Yeah, everyone has been messaging us like messages of like support and love, which I'm very, very grateful for, but it's actually not bad. Like the hotel's a really good facility. The food, while not the greatest portion, is good, is satisfactory. And there is facilities for us to leave and go outside and get fresh air whenever we want, unless there's something going on. So yeah, it's actually been it's been good. I've been working, so like 8 hours of my day are taken up, which has been good. But overall, yeah, the boys we're all in pretty high spirits. We're all pretty happy to be here. Okay,
are there any snack machines there to supplement the hunger pangs?
Yeah, everyone's got one in their hand. It's called Uber Eats. We gave ourselves like the first couple of days to be a little bit ill-disciplined with our diets, but now we're just like really supporting each other every day. Something sweet,
Yeah.
And then we're just like, no, everyone go to bed. So yeah, we've been pretty good as of late now.
Okay, and so there's you and 3 other Australian-based players have made it over. Deepak Patu, Cameron Powell, and Jake Schuster. Is that right?
Yes, yeah. So Jake and Cam and I are based in Melbourne, and then Deepak's up in the Gold Coast. Are
you all rooming together or twinning it, or a room each?
Yeah, twinning it. They gave us a few different options, like whether we wanted to go alone or all together, but I think the twinning it is probably the best. It just means that, we all have a separate space in case we all need time away from each other.
Yeah. So a 14-strong squad was named for the Cadbury Series against the Silver Ferns, the New Zealand A side, and the under-21s in Palmerston North later this month. Kruze, you are just one of 5 players, I think, who took part in last year's inaugural event. You've lost a bit of experience, including Matt Wetiti, who captained the team during last year's series, based in Sydney, is not making it. So it's just a great opportunity for some of your younger players still developing?
Yeah, first and foremost, I think we have to acknowledge the dedication and commitment that Matt Wetiti gave to our team last year. He's a phenomenal leader, phenomenal player, and we were very lucky to have him in our side last year. And that's including Dan Rich as well, who also brings a lot of experience to that defensive end. But I think obviously in the unfortunate circumstance that those 2 can't make it this year, I think it gives a really good opportunity to the younger players, or the, I guess, junior players coming through to stand up and take this opportunity with 2 hands. You'll see the likes of Jaron Tanui taking the court this year, and I think he's a very exciting player. He brings a lot of flair to that wing defence, goal defence position, and I'm really excited for these junior players to have this opportunity. I mean, this Cadbury Series is once in a lifetime. Obviously, it's the second year that it's happening, but it is once in a lifetime opportunity for all of us. So if we can get players out and experience this kind of level of netball, I think that's the most important thing at the end of the day.
Tania, with so many men's netball events canned due to COVID, has that made it difficult to gain any real momentum for the side, given all that disruption? I mean, when was the last time the team actually got together?
Yes, that's exactly what's happened to us. The last time we got together was in November. So we played our nationals where the initial trial took place. That was in September. November was our first training camp with our full squad. And we were in our final training camp. Would you believe players were about to board planes when we went into alert level 4 and we were in lockdown? So we had to, it was that week, it was the week of, just days away from having our final training camp, as well as naming our 12 strong players to head to World Cup. So it has been disruptive, it really has.
So we talk about the series being important for the Silver Ferns, but this year it's actually really important for the men, isn't it?
Absolutely. We, if you look at last year with the Cadbury Series, the New Zealand men's team, we acknowledge Dame Nolene Todua, as well as the Silver Ferns and Netball New Zealand, and the opportunity that they gave us. And we feel partly, responsible for helping them get to their World Cup and becoming world champions. And when the opportunity was spoken about earlier on with the Cadbury Series possibly happening in 2020, we thought the same, that we were heading to World Cup and we needed those same opportunities.
Junior, when did you first discover netball?
To be fair, I first discovered netball like most people in New Zealand, like probably the 1999 World Cup. When Australia beat New Zealand by 1. So I've always loved netball, but just admired it from afar. But I didn't get into it till about I was 23, just after uni. I started playing socially, and it just snowballed from there over in Australia. But I had always had, I would always like to play for New Zealand, and now that I'm here, it kind of seems surreal. Actually, we've been talking about it quite a bit here, about like just how special the opportunity is, and for it to happen again. It's quite exciting.
Junior, how tall exactly are you? I've seen 2.14 meters. Is that right?
Yeah, that's probably. I think it's probably there. I keep seeing 218, and I'm like,
yeah, I've seen that as well.
Come from? No, I'm about 7'1", so about 215 centimeters, 214, 215. Depending on how my hair is that day. Sorry.
Growing up, did you ever go through stages where you wish you weren't so tall, or have you always embraced it?
To be fair, like I was definitely raised to really use the cards you've been given. But I won't lie, like I think my fashion sense has definitely suffered given the clothing I can't wear. So sometimes when it comes to like clothing, being on the plane on the way here, there were definitely times where I wanted to be shorter. We were given I was given an aisle, I wasn't given an aisle seat or an exit row, so like I had to squeeze my legs in to get here. But there are worse things in life. But yeah, not much.
Yeah.
Not many times.
And how much of a financial hit are you guys taking to play in the Cadbury Series?
On paper, quite a bit. So I guess I think, as far as I'm aware, unless the laws have changed back in Australia, in Melbourne, we won't have to pay for quarantine when we go back there. But for someone like Deepak, I think he gets quarantined both ways, so here and abroad. But I think, to be fair, that's something that, since the start, Tania and the board have been very clear about, the expectation, and I think on top of that, men, if you play netball and you're a man, it's already like ingrained in you that a lot of it's self-funded. So I think what ends up happening is that you end up getting like a pool of players that are really quite in love with the sport and that are quite passionate about it. So the financial strain, like I wouldn't call it a strain. It's just like, it's what we do to do what we love. And I think that's probably why the four of us are here. Because to be fair, money comes and money goes. But these experiences, given that I thought last year would be like a once in a blue moon thing, given that it's come again, you just want to keep taking them as they come.
Tania, last year the team set a couple of parameters around the style it would play. From memory, the men weren't going to bomb it in from halfway down the court, and I think no lifts over the shot. Have there been discussions around that? Will it be the same this year, or no holds bar?
We want to showcase men's netball. We all know that we have a 7'1" goal shooter. We also have Quinton Gerber, who is 7 foot. So, and the other two shooters are no shorties either. They sit at 6'3", 6'6". So we know that that's an asset for us, but that's not who we are and what we want to display in our game. We want to show that we can bring the ball to the circle edge. We want to make sure that our skill and that the game of netball is played in good spirits as well. If we just keep popping it up to junior, what kind of game will that be for our spectators and for us? So while Natalie and I haven't discussed that, it will be one of the things that we will talk about. But yeah, we want to showcase our skills, and we want to showcase our shooting skills.
Kruze, last year I think you spent a lot of time opposite Laura Langman. That would have been the ultimate. The legend has retired, and I guess one of the exciting questions now is who will replace her in centre. There must be one or two or three Silver Ferns mid-quarters you'd really like to test yourself against.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the one that comes to mind first of all would be Kim Poi. I think she's grown phenomenally over the last couple of years, and her having that experience in the Suncorp Super Netball League last year, I think that really lifted her game. So I would love to test my skills and also my fitness against her, because I think she can run a full 60-minute game right to the very end. And also the likes of Carden Berger. I think she is a fantastic player. She's so physical on the player. I got to sort of experience her game last year when I was playing centre, and they would do like a switch in that defensive mid-court. But to be up against her for a full 60-minute game, I think would push me to my limits, and I'm excited about that too.
And Junior, how much are you looking forward to resuming your battle with Jane Watson? Because I think that was one of the real highlights of last year's series. You could really tell by the facial expressions, neither of you wanted to give an inch.
Oh, definitely. Looking forward to getting back to it. Jane sent us some equipment, but I hope that doesn't think shit. I'm going to go soft on her because I'm not. But looking forward to it. She's a world-class defender and probably one of the best GKs in the world. And so, yeah, just once again, I think more to what Tania was talking about before, I think for me is refining a game that moves away from just being 7 foot. And I think Jane presents that ability because she's just such a good she's such a good athlete on the ground. And also in the air. So I think my ability to showcase a different side of just being able to stand there and hold and wait for the ball. She's such a good person, or such a good defender to really go up against.
Junior, over in Australia, obviously there's been a bit of controversy over there with Suncorp Super Netball introducing the 2-point shot. So as a goal shoot, I'm just wondering what you think of the 2-point shot.
Oh, I think I'm definitely open. I'm open to anything that puts bums on seats for netball in general, whether it be for men and females. But I think my only, objection to it is I feel like Netball Australia try to validate that decision, saying that we're trying to breed more long-range shooters, and that's not actually how you do it, because you're going to incentivize something that doesn't exist when they go to play netball outside of Australia. So that's probably an issue there. Like, if you want long-range shooters, do what New Zealand does and create long-range shooters just by, giving girls the freedom and the trust to shoot out wide, which is how Maria came to be. So I think that's probably my only, but I hate it. I would hate it if it came to the World Game. It would ruin netball, to be honest.
Tania, what's the plan for the days leading up to the series? When will you actually finally get together as a team?
Well, believe it or not, the day before, we fly in, the management team are flying in Saturday. We'll spend a day together going over our processes. And then our boys arrive finally Sunday the 18th. We will all meet in Palmerston North. We have a porphyry for us on our arrival, and then away we go. It's straight into business. We will unpack and head straight down to the court. So Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, quite intense, 2 trainings a day. And then we've got a couple of visits to a couple of schools. And then it's business day, game day Wednesday.
Tania, have you coached women's teams as well? And do you find it different coaching the men?
Yes, I have. So I've come through the grades at Hamilton City Netball Centre with the year 7, year 8s right through to under 19s, and then yes, open grade women's. It's so different. I probably made a decision about 5 years ago to let that go and just stick with the men's and mixed netball. I also coach New Zealand indoor sports, and I do prefer to coach the men. Just the different style, the flair, and yeah, I've been a passionate follower of men's netball since I was 16 years old, and I'm pretty old now. So I've been on the journey with them for a long, long time. So that's my passion, and yeah, I do love it. I really do love it.
Kruze, there was so much excitement around last year's inaugural series. What did you learn from it, and what advice will you be giving to some of the new players to the side?
Yeah, there was a lot of excitement, and it was amazing just to be a part of that experience. I think one thing that we learned from it is that, or what I should say is one thing that fans learn from it is that men can actually play netball and play it really well. I think they got to see what kind of skill and attributes we have in this game, and also they got to see the respect and love we have for our Silver Ferns. I think that's a part of the game that's not really talked about a lot, and I think it should be acknowledged more that these Silver Fern players are huge idols of ours. I think the advice that I'll give to the new ones coming through in our junior players is just to take the experience with two hands and go for it. There's no time like the present, and so if you get on court, then you need to take it, you need to step up, and you need to do the best that you can.